Hey, happy magical Monday to you. It is the Oracle at Mushin here, bringing you a tarot oracle card reading. It's interactive in the sense that you get to pick which of the three cards you want. The oracle cards are general ones, and I'd like to say too that the cards that come up, even if you pick a one and the two resonates with you, identify with what resonates to you. There's like no rules to this. It's really about what speaks to your soul, and this is meant to spark intrigue. That being said, if you could ask me questions in the comments, I can incorporate it into future events, or if I do some live videos, let me know if you'd like a live video even. I'd be happy to do that. Check out my page, Oracle at Mushin. I'm going to be constantly growing that moving forward. And with that, I'm going to quit rambling and get into the reading. So your oracle card for the upcoming week is New Growth. I think that that's very exciting. So there's all of this gold in the card. Gold obviously is kind of this wealth that we want. And I think it's important to understand that wealth isn't really about money. Money can be an aspect of wealth, but wealth is also about security, comfort, connection with other people. There's all of these other aspects of wealth that are overlooked, and I think that there's going to be a lot of new growth in these more intangible aspects of wealth. And then there's also this blue in there. Blue is third eye chakra, so new growth of your intuitive ability to connect to what you want, to get a clearer vision of where you want to go. And then there's these little inklings of turquoise blue, which is communication. And I would say that the communication here is more about listening to everything. There's also this like little spirit wheel up there, and that's really kind of new growth in your connection with spirit in general. So now we are going to go to the first card. We're going to go with the twos first, and that is Queen of Bows. It is the reversed hare. So to me, this is saying that you're not taking some action that you need to. You're kind of stuck in the quickness that you need. There's going to be new growth in the sense of a speeding up of your life and things that are meaningful, and a new growth and kind of creating what you want, tapping into the principle of the hare being a prolific multiplier. So there's going to be that aspect of it too. And then there's the moon in the card. So the moon is really about not dealing with the unconscious and not navigating through some circumstances. So this is kind of saying, in order to speed things up, when you really look at the unconscious, what's going on in your shadow and all of that, you're going to clear the energy so things can speed up, and you're going to clear space so things can multiply and reproduce. And I think that that's important. Moving on, we will go to 3. It is the King of Bows, and this is the adder, and it has all of these serpents there. So serpents are symbols of wisdom. They were symbols of wisdom in traditional cultures, or ancient cultures rather, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of religions kind of bastardized the serpent, because it was about knowledge and there was this whole power grab. And that's off topic, but it's important to reference, I feel like. So for this is showing that, again, that was in the reverse position too. A lot of your thoughts are so wrapped up that you're not able to really take the action that you want, and you can't keep having all of these new ideas if you can't untangle the ones that still need untangled. So this week is going to be about untangling things before you take on new growth, and there's going to be growth in the fact that you're untangling this breeding ball of ideas. If you look, there's this confinement in the card. The confinement is you limiting your own capacity to expand yourself. But if you look, when you can begin to isolate the one snake, that one piece of wisdom, that one idea, there's all of this like room for growth and expansion up there. And there's this concept of listening and taking it seriously. There's also these elements of the rock that are in the card. The rock really is about restriction, but also stability. There's some stability in keeping your mind so cluttered that you can't take action, and it goes into the concept of being afraid to succeed or being afraid to fail. So if you keep yourself perpetually on like lockdown because you can't make a decision or you can't accomplish anything, it's a lot easier to just say I never complete anything than it is to say I'm capable of doing this if I unsort this. So yeah, the new growth is untangling those ideas. Now we will move to our threes. And we got decision. This card came up a little bit ago as well. And it's important to remember that our choices will lead to new growth. When we begin to actively make choices on things that matter most, we begin to step into our power. And when we begin to own the results of those choices or lack of making a choice, which is still a choice, we begin to grow in new ways and build momentum. And when you can really step into your decisions and own them, regardless of if they are the right choice or the wrong choice, or even making the right choice or the wrong choice the right choice, there's a tremendous amount of power in there, and there's incredible growth in there. So for our threes, there's this concept of really making wise choices moving forward. And now we will transition to the animal card, and it is the sea serpent in the upside down position. So looking at this since it's in the reversal, so the sea serpent would be this great piece of wisdom that we have. And I think that this, I'm going to tap into what I've been reading by Carlos Castaneda. He talks about this aspect of silent knowledge, and it's something that's inexpressible. And I've talked about this concept on the podcast before, where there becomes a place of knowing or understanding with certain things where you realize you can't express the things. People that know, and people that don't know, don't. And that's what a lot of symbolism in esoteric culture was really trying to represent, to show you that you're on the right path because it's inexplicable in any kind of traditional form of language. And the sea serpent to me is when you begin to go through this process of searching the unconscious, dealing with the water, like dealing with your emotions, letting your emotions settle and getting this clarity, untangling your thoughts so you create this space, and beginning to take responsibility for your own choices. And instead of being in this victim mindset, you begin to access this kind of mythical knowledge that people talk about. And there's this whole concept of one thing, like this one little spurt grows into this mythical knowledge. And that really is what it is when you kind of began. Let me take it to me real quick. Like when I began this process, I had a very small understanding of, I just saw like the fin of the sea serpent. And the more I go, the more of the sea serpent is revealed. It's like the tip of the iceberg. The spiritual journey, when people talk about a spiritual awakening, you're seeing the tip of the iceberg, and it's constantly this understanding that there's way more under the surface. And the sea serpent to me is representing that premise of the awakening process is this great beast, and not beast in a negative way, but there's this great knowledge that you will continually expose more and more of. But the more of it that you expose, the less of it you realize. The more you realize you can't ever see all of it, and the more you realize you don't know about it. And without making that more convoluted and trying to explain the inexplicable, I'm going to shut up and really hone in on the general outline for you for this upcoming week. So you're going to be having a lot of new growth. It's going to spring from the choices that you make and taking ownership of the outcomes regardless of what they are. You're going to really speed things up in your life when you step into that place. And also that ability to speed things up in your life is actually going to come from slowing down, from decluttering your thoughts, from sorting all of your individual pieces of knowledge out individually so then you can recombine them in a meaningful, intentional way. and then that will cause this reproduction of efforts, and it's going to reach this astonishing crescendo. And then when you really get down to it, the simplification of things will unite you with this inexplicable wisdom that will further perpetuate your new growth, and that you can begin to seed into other people's lives, so they can further cultivate that knowledge. Boom goes the dynamite, people. That was phenomenal. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. If you want to get a personal reading with me, oracle@mushin.com. I have a whole bunch of different services I offer. If you want to get 50% off your first reading, you can sign up for my newsletter, where I will share flash sales, discounts, exclusive readings that you won't find anywhere else. And yeah, the 50% off is good for any type of reading. Also, I offer a money-back guarantee, which is unprecedented in this industry. But you don't have to do that to get a personal thing. If you want to get involved, leave a comment, reach out to me when I begin doing live videos. Just follow along and say, hey, bro, I have this question, and I will answer. And if you feel so inclined at that time, you could leave a donation or just a thumbs up and share the video, whatever's clever. Part of this is my service work. I love, respect, and appreciate all of you. Stay grateful, people.